Good evening, guys. Welcome to our happy hour, episode 98. It is your girl, Debbie Deb, here in the building. And I am here with my lovely siblings, Miss Daisy.
Yo, always ready for the show. I'm back. I'm back.
We're back, actually. You know, it's only been gone for a couple weeks. But we're also here with my lovely brother, Darren. You gotta say his name twice because it's so nice, right? So, you know, I messed it up. But anyways, we got our lovely cousin, Jhene.
Hello there. I'm back. My last appearance was what, New Year's Eve? Was the last episode?
Yeah. Last episode of 2019. Yes, she is back. Yeah, so we're gonna get started. You guys, last week I got my damn ACT pulled over here, you know, in a little bit of pain, but you know, I'm gonna work it out. But yes, you guys. So are we gonna go right into the Rona?
We're gonna go right into COVID-19.
Child, everybody is going crazy.
19.
Let's talk about coronavirus 2020. This is some real shit, everybody. Pay attention. Pay attention to this right here. All the report is this. Coronavirus means that hide your kids, hide your own ass in your apartment because it's coming for everybody. Stay away from the Rona.
Everybody then bought up all the toilet tissue, all the water. They're trying to be prepared, you know, all the shelves at grocery stores.
Empty.
Targets, Walmarts, child, Costco's, they are empty.
Right. People are preparing for the end of times. Like it's
they are.
I mean,
it's apocalypse.
Which is, it's good, but it's also, because we talk about emergency preparedness all the time.
Right.
So I do think that if people were prepared ahead of time, they wouldn't be panicking in this way, buying up the toilet paper and all of the canned goods and all of the things like non-perishable items in the grocery store. I can't explain enough how being prepared ahead of time is really important because when you're not prepared, that's when you panic and go into this state of frenzy, which actually doesn't make any sense because, like, why do you need so much toilet paper?
Well, let's start. Well, because people think that they're going to be inside their house for a long period of time. That people think that, you know, that we've been told we have to seclude ourselves and socially isolate ourselves. And, of course, people are going to take that because, you know, it's not like, what message of assuredness do you get? If you're somebody who's overly anxious anyways, you know, you see somebody go out and buy toilet paper, shit, I'm going to go out and buy a whole bunch too. Right. Shit. You know, I don't know when I'm going to get some more. You know, because that is the case right now. You know, I mean, even though they replenish I seen, it was like a bunch of people swarming around a pallet jack full of, like, the guy couldn't even come out the damn stock room with the shit and place it because people were just all there, just like
fighting ready to take it off the damn pallet.
Fighting to get the packets of toilet paper.
But to me, it brings out the
ridiculous.
worst in our human nature, which is fear. You know, what fear causes people to do. And when they feel like they're not in control. Did you guys read that article that I sent you about the
I got it. I read it.
Please read it, Devin. What did you take from that? Like,
I mean, just like you said, fear, it takes over people, and then they just start what do you call it? Shop when you do shopping, like What is it called? I can't think of the word.
Yeah, I can't think of it either. It came to me the other day, but it's like
stress, like you're stressing over something, so you just.
That's the only way to make you feel safe, probably, right?
Yeah,
that's the only way to make you feel say, I mean, and for me too. Hell, I went out on Friday. I went to the dollar store because I'm worried about my clients. You know, who?
Yeah.
What if one of them gets sick? And our only message to them is stay your ass at home.
Right.
What if you ain't got enough medication at home? What if you ain't got enough food at home? What if you can't drag your ass out and stand in line for 50 minutes at the dollar store to get some damn toilet paper? You know, because it's all been sold out. You know, what's gonna happen then? And to me, the only way, because I know I already feel like some of my coworkers like, hey, like, you know, they're, you know, come on, like, let's wait for the agency to come buy this, you know, this stuff. And I'm like, shit. The agency ain't bought the shit yet. You know, what make you think we gonna buy it in the next week? And we gonna get it in the next week.
And who should be caring for these clients other than us? Like, that is our responsibility. So I do think
that's just my donation, just for GP. I'm not even looking for, you know, that it was only $13. You know, You know, so to me it was like, okay, I just got some bleach, I got some soap. You know, just got some stuff. You know, I ain't got no canned goods or nothing like that, but that's something that we're gonna have to prepare for too, just in case. Because hell, I don't know either.
I mean, the thing is that it is a high likelihood that we will be placed on quarantine. Yeah. So many TV shows have been canceled, not canceled, but postponed. In terms of they're going on hiatus. You know, restaurants, live TV bars, shows. The whole community is affected in terms of like the impact on society.
Schools have been canceled.
School districts are going on break for a whole month. You know, that's breakfast, lunch for, you know, oftentimes and dinner, which is like a late meal for a lot of students who stay after school, that now the family has to take care of. But school districts have come out and said that they will supply those things still. You know, they'll still have their cafeterias open.
NBA has freaking been postponed, or the season has been.
The NBA.
Yeah, so when did that happen? That happened last Thursday. No, I'm sorry, last Wednesday. Last Wednesday. In the middle of a game. In the middle of a game, they ended it, you know, saying that, you know, the NBA, the whole NBA is going for a minimum of 30 days that they will be on hiatus. They're not going to be playing any games after. I think this was just a precaution because I heard Adam Silver talking about, he's the NBA commissioner, saying that, I mean, all the basketball players do is fly from one city to another. So they themselves pose a risk, especially after, what was this guy's name? Rudy Gobert?
Yeah, Rudy
Gobert. That French dude.
Well, and he was
the first one to test positive.
He came under fire because he was making light of the situation and he was touching people's microphones. He was touching the reporters' bodies. Like, he was just like, it's fine. It comes out that he is positive.
Shit.
And then he had to come out and apologize for acting so
stupidly,
recklessly, frivolously, not taking it serious, because it is serious, you know.
It is. I mean, but he was, you know. Well, we'll get into that later, you know. But Rudy Gobert was one of the Gobert was one of the lucky ones because he was able to get a test. Shit, he was able to find out soon. They probably was like, man, you know, they probably was like, Rudy, you know, you keep fucking around, we just gonna test your ass anyway. We're gonna test the whole damn team. Then come find out his test was the first one. Oh shit.
Right.
You know? And another thing, going back to like the grocery store thing, like people fighting with people fighting over stuff. You know how people used to go to the grocery stores to buy things for like regular grocery shopping. And you can't buy no water, toilet paper towel.
It's
like it's regular stuff that people actually need who's not panicking over it.
Right.
But you can't get it because y'all over here buying everything in bulk. And it's like, come on, man.
I'm so mad I can't think of the word.
Share.
Stress
shopping.
I mean,
what, the amygdala when the fight or flight? What?
No, it's like when people,
the term that people use
when they go shopping to feel better about themselves, when they're like
depressed or sad. Oh my God, what is it?
Self-care? No, what?
No, Darren is like, I know what Devin is trying to say. I know exactly.
It's a clinical term or
it's a clinical term for it. But overall, you know, I do think that people choose large items like large things of toilet paper because it helps them feel like they're in control of an uncontrollable
Yes.
situation. That's what the article was really
They
about.
try to take back control of
Right.
it.
The psychology behind people picking up bulk items is because it makes them feel better about themselves because they can't control their environment, you know, or they can't control a situation. Which, I mean, obviously there's a whole lot of psychological things we can talk about in terms of why people are reacting like this. But another reason is because, like Darren said, if I see somebody, they used in the article the example of a snake. If you were just in the jungle and you didn't know anything about snakes and you saw another person jump away from a snake, not knowing anything about the snake, you're gonna jump too.
Right.
Because it's just natural
Retail
reaction.
therapy.
Thank you,
Oh,
Devin.
retail therapy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, child.
Yes, it's called retail therapy. And people are spending up all their last
Yes.
tax dollars.
I
They got
seen a
those
meme
Tax
today.
refunds,
I
child.
seen a meme just before we started, and it was like, April 1st, at every store, people in the return line,
Yes, okay.
to try to pay for their rent, returning all types of waters and toilet paper and stuff, trying to pay for their
No, but
rent.
let's talk about this guy who was out in Memphis, Tennessee, who stood up here and cleared out all the
Hand
stores
sanitizer.
near him of hand sanitizer and like Lysol wipes and stuff. He literally had a storage unit full of over 17,000
What is
items
wrong with
of hand
him?
sanitizer. Because he said, well, look, this is what he was saying. This is what he was like. I feel like I'm somebody who's just gonna come out here and
That's what he said there. Do it
It sounded
again.
like that too.
you know, I just feel like I'm just one of these people who just comes out here and I'm providing a service to people who do not have these hand sanitizers to them because I'm going to ship it to them and I'm going to get paid for it.
But you're also marking up the price from what you purchased it from.
Right,
So it's a
so-
capitalistic
So-
mentality. But now he
Yes.
can't sell them, right?
Right. So that was part of the reason why he's unable to sell them because Amazon had gotten wind of a lot of these inflated prices and they've been taking these sellers off of their marketplace. You know, so he was one of them. So he couldn't do anything with it. He was like, oh well, I just don't want people to just think of me as that guy who just tried to sell hand sanitizer 20 times the cost. So I think I'm gonna try to donate it.
That's already your
So
reputation.
no, but look. So today, the Attorney General of Tennessee, somebody was able to geolocate where he was based on a picture that the New York Times had took. So they didn't give away his location, but it was a picture of him, right, outside of the unit, and somebody geolocated it and said, I think this unit is right about here. So the Attorney General of Tennessee, they tried calling him, he wouldn't answer. So they came with some U-Haul trucks and they
Confiscated
it. Confiscated
Because
everything.
it is actually, like, that's what people don't understand. It is illegal for you to purchase items and
Price gouge.
price gouge.
Yes.
Like the Attorney General can actually confiscate those things, but also sue those particular sellers for like because our consumer rights are just there for these exact reasons, so that people don't capitalize off of
That's
these
just
types
not
of
right.
emergency situations. Like, yes, I'm gonna sue you for acting erroneously and being very selfish and thinking that you were gonna make a profit, and
A ridiculous profit at that. Like, why would you freaking market it that much when this is supposed to be something that it's a need?
but why would you mark it up that much? Like, my thing is, he was uneducated. He was ignorant of the fact that it was illegal
Freaking idiot.
because he didn't read the fine print of Amazon selling place that we have the right to take you off the selling market, and we also have the right to sue you for not following all of the rules. Like, not just Amazon. He can get sued from Amazon, the Attorney General, the state. Like, there's so many litigations that can come up from it. And now you thought you was a millionaire and now all your money gone.
But this is capitalism.
Idiot.
This is capitalism right there at its finest. You know,
Yeah.
you want to try to make a come up on a situation so that you can make some money. To hell with everybody else. And you justify it by saying, oh, well, I'm going to deliver it to people who are in need of it across the country because the distribution networks here in Tennessee aren't that good. And I just want to you just take some stuff and make some money off of you guys.
I can't. Somebody really talks like that.
That's probably how he sounds.
No, I'm sure he doesn't. I think I'm doing more of a Texas accent. But,
you are doing a very southern Texas accent. But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the truth of the matter is that like he was ignorant of consumer rights and had no idea.
God do not like ugly, okay?
You know, that's just the truth. I was talking to other people too. Like, we live in a very individualistic society. The United States is super individualistic compared to collectivistic societies that think about the community and think about the impact that their actions have on others. And I do think that because we are individual minded and we're just all like, that's what we're taught from growing up in America, that we make these kinds of very selfish decisions, not thinking about its impact on other people.
Yeah.
So, you know,
It's very unfortunate. It's very sad.
how did we get here?
So here's the story about the coronavirus, right? So what was thought to have happened, right, was that somewhere in China, Wuhan, China, there was an open air market. So I don't know if anyone has been into to other places of the world, but there's open air markets that
where their
exist.
meat is out.
Right, where most of the global trade, globally, where most trade occurs is in an open air market. You know, you have meat, you have animals, you have garments, you have little doodads and doohickeys, and you know, you have tailors, you know, you have all kinds of people here gathered in this marketplace. So what was thought was that, and one of the sellers of animals and stuff like that, because I guess they eat bats out there, right? It's like a delicacy. So apparently it was a bat that was on top of was it a bird or a pig?
I don't know.
It was another animal that the bat was on top of, like literally in cages, two cages on top of each other. So the bat somehow bites the other animal. That other animal was consumed. And then, it just started from there in terms of this virus spreading. So we know that it emanated from a bat, in this area, but that, over time, it's just started to spread collectively. So it left out of, Wuhan, China, spread to other parts. Because it really got in Italy real bad.
I know. Italy got affected
really
so
affected. It's in Iran.
fast.
Iran is really affected by it. South Korea is another hot spot of it.
Yeah, Iran is building mass grave sites right now. Yeah. What were you saying? Other locations.
Just other locations in just terms of hot spots. I mean, it's in the UK right now, but right now it's in America. It is in America. It has been confirmed. It was on that cruise ship. Remember the Princess cruise ship? That was floating around for a while, and all these people had gotten infected, and it was really terrible. Yeah. So it was two different cruise ships actually, because the one that just docked in San Francisco, that was another one, because that first cruise ship, it was in Japan. Remember, that one had Americans on board, because it was like a princess. It was one of those princess cruise ships that was going to Japan.
Right.
So it was docked there. Japan made a grave mistake in keeping them on the ship instead of trying to treat them elsewhere. But we got to think about this, in terms of just quarantining people, so they thought the best thing to do was to quarantine them on the ship, and that wasn't the best thing to do.
No, because it's a tight quarters, and oh my God.
Right. You just try to keep everybody in their room and stuff like that. So people were miserable literally for weeks on end. And some of them came back, and I think they were quarantined on a base at here in California. And then, but there was another cruise ship, that just docked in Oakland last week.
Yeah, and now there is a cruise ship that has multiple confirmed cases and can't find anywhere to dock because no other docking places will accept them. So they have to stay out there, which is actually not very good, because docking is like they get gas, like they fill up, you know what I mean? Like that's where they get their the food also too. Like when they dock at these places, they restock.
My goodness. Yeah, I think what it has done, in the last 2 weeks, why don't I ask this? Did you guys think that it would get this bad 2 weeks ago?
I didn't think it was gonna get this bad.
We learned about that first ship that was docked in Japan about a month ago.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think I did think that it would get this bad only because of the fact that like it's just a virus that we don't have a cure for. So I did think that it was gonna spread, but I do think that also too it's spreading because we're not like the reaction that we're having to it is just it's more panic than it's necessarily is like preventative. So
Right.
I do think that like quarantining people is one of the ways that the government can get ahead of this, and
Yeah.
we probably should have been quarantined or in some fact of the matter like saying like, hey, distance yourself from very large social settings a lot sooner. But Trump got up there and was like, it's fine, we'll be okay, like don't worry about it, everybody, it's cool.
He's an idiot.
And I think that his administration and him himself are coming up under a lot of fire, and he should be, because I don't think that his response was appropriate. I think he should have been more expressed a little bit more leadership in saying like, okay, this is real, guys, let's start to think about ways that we can help prevent it.
Right. Well,
yeah.
you know.
I mean, I think.
But what do you guys think?
Yeah. What about you guys today? I mean, Day.
I don't know what to think, honestly. It's just like, I feel like, yes, you can panic about it, but for me personally, I'm not in a panic state. Like, I'm surprisingly, since everything's been going on, I'm at peace.
Yeah, that's where we're supposed to be.
Like, I'm at peace. So it's just like, if whatever you people practice as like a spirituality, I don't know, but I know for me, only place that can really change everything is God.
Right.
So on the spiritual level, I'm okay. Like, okay, I'm going to work, but as a human, I don't want to sound freaking out, but it's just like the field that I work in, I'm out in the open.
Yeah.
I'm walking around. I'm coming in contact with people. I'm touching things. So God forbid I catch it from touching stuff, but it's still like,
what are you gonna do?
What can I do
when you gotta go to work? Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel the same. Like, as far as like my spiritual peace, I'm not in panic mode because it's out of my control. The only thing I can do is do what I'm able to do, which is wash my hands all the time.
what you should have been doing.
Which you should have been doing, right? And staying away from large groups. If I'm sick, I'm not gonna be around other people. If people are sick around me, like, I'm gonna try to, shield myself from them. Wear a mask. I don't know, but I don't know. People buying up everything. I haven't been to any of the grocery stores. I have not tried. I have not made any attempt. Like, I'm just.
It's kind of
like,
unbelievable.
whatever.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable,
Yeah.
right? So it is what it is.
And I really do hope that like all this money that people are spending, that it doesn't go to waste.
That part.
Because,
Well, it's the only thing supporting our economy right now. So
yeah,
So
and
it's
I'm
not
also
like
thinking
that.
we didn't even write that shit down, but we can get into it in a bit. But
my
go
thing
ahead.
is like there's no reason out of all this food that's been purchased and people are hoarding and collecting for emergencies, which I get, like, okay, yeah, we should have something for emergencies out for 2 weeks just to be able, like, to, if we need to stay home. I think that that's a standard 2 weeks to a month. Yeah, have those things. But we still have homelessness and hunger in the United States.
And what about those people?
And what about these people that, nobody ever thinks to share with those people? It's just all like, okay, I need to survive. It's kind of sad to witness, and like makes me really think about human nature and how we are as a community.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I didn't think it would happen, but I thought that it would. I thought that
It was
could.
a possibility.
I thought
yeah.
it was a possibility.
Yep.
Because I didn't know that it would spread as fast as it did, and I didn't know, the whole declaration of national emergency and all this other kind of stuff. Because I knew for one thing that we wouldn't be prepared, so I knew that, I had a feeling that it was going to come when they were like, oh, well, we might it might, it's going to come to California. There's nothing we can do about it, because we weren't, screening anybody that was coming through TSA.
Right, there was no
at that point. And then Trump sits up here. We can get more into it in the politics before we get too heated right now. Because like you said, the whole reason why we're in a panic state right now in the first place, let us not forget, is because Donald Trump serves in 1600 Pennsylvania Ave. And his punk ass decided to fire all of the people who would have had a plan to fix this shit. Damn.
Darren's upset.
I know.
Spilled the whole wine.
I'm upset about that even right now. But all the people who would have fixed this shit,
He fired.
Right.
They over here working at Big Lots and over here working at Goldman Sachs and shit. Over here working at Big Lots.
Oh Lord.
Anyway.
No,
You got mad. You knocked over your glass.
Darren.
I did. Well, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Could have got a rag.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm sorry, Darren.
We ain't got that much. I ain't trying to go to the store and get more damn paper towels. Damn, we could use a damn rag.
Well, that's what Erica gave me.
I'm sorry.
It's over here, Erica.
One paper towel. It's okay. It's all cleaned up. Oh well. Hey, Erica, look in the bathroom, in the closet. In the bathroom, there's a bunch of rags around there. Yeah.
Yeah, that cover.
It'll dry.
Anyway.
No, I don't know because my mic is doing something weird right now.
No, it's
Sound fine.
Okay, then
Okay.
this wire thing is kind of jacked up right now.
Oh,
This doesn't wrong with it. He's talking about you're holding it. That's what's wrong with it.
right.
Let go of it. Oh my
I
goodness.
can't.
Yeah, but no, that was,
Shenanigans.
All right, so just to
Yeah,
finish
you're
up
right.
this coronavirus stuff.
he fired all the people in the Department of, what was it? The Department of?
Yeah, it's like a special national security department that
Right.
was supposed to deal with pandemics.
Yeah.
Like the reason why Ebola was able to be crushed so fast and it wasn't able to spread across the world like it could have was because Obama led that, and he had that department and they crushed it. They crushed it. Literally, the people who had Ebola, they were already screened and quarantined. We found out a week after they were in quarantine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, we just found out this motherfucker had it, and he's gonna be better because we just got the cure. Look, and at that somebody got the cure. It's in the experimental phase, but we're gonna try to give it. Then all of a sudden it's like it works. That's and in this situation we all asked out. But anyway, we'll get more into that into politics. Why don't we just finish it off and talking about like the people who've had it. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson
Tom Hanks
also.
and Rita Wilson, they have him. They're in Italy, aren't they?
They were in Australia.
They were in Australia. Yeah, they're in
Australia.
Australia filming a movie right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you guys said, Rudy Gobert. Who's Donovan Mitchell? That's
His
another Indian.
teammate.
His teammate, and then it's a third one. It's the third.
Another. I mean, that's just the celebrities that have come out and said that they have it. We don't know how many other ones are actually going to be diagnosed if they've been tested.
Oh my gosh, I seen a clip of what's his name? Stephen Curry. Yes, he was doing an interview and he was about to cough, but then he decided against it. Like you see him like go like this, like, and then he just wait. There, my mic is gone.
Oh, it's not?
I couldn't hear myself. Anyway, sorry. But he went, like he was about to cough and then he decided not to, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah.
I mean, also too, it's spreading rapidly. We don't know how many people are gonna actually be diagnosed, but just do your best.
And also my thing is make sure whatever y'all faith is and however deep y'all faith is, pray.
The blood of Jesus.
It still
Okay.
works.
I mean, how do you guys feel about, like colleges actually?
Right, yeah, so school, so I know our nephew Jalen, his school got closed down. Thankfully, he's with his grandma in Atlanta.
I know Dominguez Hills is closed down.
Well, most of the colleges are closed down.
Yeah.
LAUSD is closed down for 2 weeks.
I think all colleges doing online right now too.
Yep. Yeah.
But a lot of places don't even have capacity. You know,
And
you
they
try to
took-
turn that into online classes, and what the hell you gonna do? Get on Skype?
Right.
All right, everybody, let's get on Skype.
And they told
Yeah.
they told anybody who lived on campus to also
Get
go
out in
home.
3 days. They give them a 3-day notice. Ain't that
Yeah,
some shit?
they gave them a 3-day notice and said, if you can go home, because we don't want you here anymore. No, that's not how it was. But they were like, it's too many masses in one environment, and like it could just spread even worse. So they had to send everybody home.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Like literally pack up your stuff through the rest of spring quarter. Don't come back.
That's sad.
Omar?
No, she was saying that I think Amara, she's going to Vegas with her dad.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of colleges are impacted right now, and people are being sent home and have to do online classes. Just
A lot of people are working from home too in jobs that
They're about to
I
start
don't
doing
know
that.
if you can work from home in some of these damn jobs, but
I can't.
I can't.
Hell, I
Well,
sure
somebody-
can't.
somebody was mentioning like for jobs that you can work from home, people were discovering that when they requested to work from home because of a disability or some other thing that maybe came up, the job said no. But now the job is saying that you
Yeah,
you can work
can.
from home.
Now you can work remotely. So it's kind of bringing up a lot of issues within work environments regarding working remotely. This situation is coming up. People are like, but I
Yeah.
can work remotely. You just were being an asshole and saying that I couldn't,
Right.
which would cause like people to be less stressed,
Mm-hmm.
probably
yeah.
not responding this way.
Yeah. I mean, but as a new supervisor myself, I can see why people sometimes would say like no to working from home, especially if you're new and you haven't
That makes sense.
yet, completed your task and you haven't proven that you can complete your
Yeah.
tasks at home.
While at home,
So,
right?
yeah,
Because some
if you
people
can't
get
do that-
distracted easily. Some
Exactly.
people,
Right.
You over here at home and you over here looking at TV and shit.
right?
You decide you want to start vacuuming and stuff, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
sleep in. Oh, I'm gonna sleep in.
But if you don't have a proven track record for being productive working
Yeah.
from home, you just don't
That's
know.
gonna be the new test now. Is can people still, because some people they can't take it. Because some people might be taking this shit way overboard.
and not
serious.
actually do work.
And not just not do work, but not leave a damn house. Shit.
I know for me.
You won't go outside and take the trash out. Or you say, oh, the coronavirus is gonna get me.
I know for me, in my case,
It's
I
in the
can't
air.
work from home.
Huh?
I can't work from home.
Yeah, because your job is.
I'm actually legit out in the field.
Yeah.
Knocking on doors. So
That makes sense.
it's
I definitely can't work from home because the type of things I need to do to complete my work, I have to use special type of printers that I do
Right.
not have access to at home. I can
So-
communicate with my overseas agents and shit, but I mean, guaranteed I'm in constant communication through email, but actually completing my shipments and stuff,
Yeah, this
no.
has a significant impact on our day-to-day lives. So just day by day, we just gotta stay prayed up and see what's gonna happen. Keep a positive attitude.
Yep. But all right, so we're gonna get in.
I'm gonna come back to this total too, because I just start playing at the wrong time. All right, anyway.
So we're gonna go to new music.
In the middle of the day.
I can't.
In the middle of the day now, baby.
I seem to think of only you. Oh yeah.
Oh my Damn, just knew we was gonna start.
That was good though.
So I can't wait for the day when we can be together.
You walked away. That's you something bad, okay?
Oh, you guys kept going too. Good, bravo.
Okay, tell them
All
it's a jet.
Okay.
Alright, so why don't we go straight into new music? This is a new album from Electronica called A Written Testimony. Now, for those of you guys who don't know who Electronica is, he's a great rapper. Just used to be featured and release some like mixtapes and stuff, but he never had an actual release, and this is his first release. And like he's been around for like 12, 13, a long time.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember him.
Like I remember him back in high school.
Right. Okay.
Well, he got a baby with Erykah Badu.
I think so.
Yeah.
He does. The daughter that actually sings.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how old is she?
She's like 15 or something.
Yeah,
Right.
so-
She's in her teens.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember hearing about Electronica. Like I had already heard about him back when like they were like, oh, Erykah Badu got a baby with him.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah. So this was called The Blinding.
It's the return of the Akis. It's the return of the lost and found child. It's the bad the Anunnakis. It's the return of Mrs. Shakur spitting out flame and paparazzi. That's my new style.
What do you guys think?
I like it.
It's cool.
Jay-Z is featured in like most of the tracks. It's only 10 tracks on it.
So did him and Jay-Z work on this album?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Is that Travis?
Yeah, it's Travis Scott. Alright, so let's play another one. This one's called Ezekiel's Will by it's featuring The Dream.
Interrupt this record to bring you a special bulletin. Reports of a flying saucer hovering over the city have been confirmed. Switching now to our on-spot reporter downtown.
Drake is still hitting all the time.
Feeling on me right now. Feeling on me right now. Huh. Talking to me right. Yeah.
Alright, so
You're in your feelings, pipe down.
yeah, so please check this out. It's brand new on Jay Electronica for A Written Testimony. Yeah, it's 10 tracks.
It sounds cool.
Yeah, it's 10 tracks.
It's real hip hop-ish.
I mean, I'm just waiting for Jay-Z to like really retire. Like, is he ever going to retire like 4 times?
No.
No, he's not gonna retire.
Right.
Yo.
Why would he even say it in the first place? Like, what's that about? I
Oh,
don't
you
know.
mean back in like 2005?
Yeah, like I'm just saying, like he said he was gonna retire like maybe twice already.
Yeah.
Like,
And then he came back, and I remember hearing like, speaking about Jay-Z, I remember hearing him like in the morning, like on radio. He said radio, he used to clock
Right.
the alarm in the morning. And I remember hearing it's like 5:45 in the morning, and I was like, that sounds like Jay-Z. It was show me what you got. Show me what you got. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what the hell is he doing on this? You know, because I'm thinking that's the Rex and Effect song. You know, it's like. So I was thinking like, it's like, oh, all they want to do is just shake your up. Anyway, so let's get into the next one, which is Jhene Aiko.
Yeah, last episode we spoke about her coming out with the album. This right here is called Hope, but it's really happiness over everything. But the album is I think 20 tracks. Is it?
Yeah, it's 20 tracks.
20 tracks. She has a few features on this song. She has Future and Miguel.
nice.
Yeah, see, Absol. Where's Absol been?
Axel been in the cut.
Yeah,
But that
he
song,
working. He works somewhere.
I don't know, child. He's still part of TDE, but I've heard that they might drop him. I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah, he was doing some mental health things.
I suppose. But yeah, she has other features. She has Big Shine on here. She has
Nas, here's 10,000 hours.
Nas.
She has some great features.
Yeah. She has her dad on here too.
10,000 hours. I cannot let go. 10,000 memories. I've been missing you for 10,000 hours. Yeah, I cannot let go. 10,000 memories.
This one's called Lightning and Thunder featuring Jhene.
What kind of spell did you put over me? Control me. What in the hell? What kind of spell did you put over me?
I think this song was meant to sound like a
Jhene Aiko or Carson's own. LA. I thought she lived in Carson. I thought she was in Carson.
No.
She grew up in the South Bay.
No. No, she didn't.
I heard her talking about growing up in the South Bay.
No, she didn't say
Carson.
she. No.
Miguel is from Carson.
Absol is from Carson. Miguel is from San Pedro.
They from LA, they from LA. I just say LA from now.
She's from Slauson.
And what?
I don't know why you're looking at me, Derek. You know I don't know anything about these artists.
Over by the Rouse?
Slauson is Overhill, child.
Oh, over by no, over there by
that store.
Simply Wholesome.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Simply
she
Wholesome.
even talks about Simply Wholesome too. She got a.
Oh,
It's in her last song too. She's from Slauson Overhill.
All right, so let's warm up into Meg the Stallion. This new it's a mixtape, right? New mixtape.
Yeah.
This one's called Hit My Phone.
Just like to have fun and they scared the fuck. I get nasty when the moon come out and the juice get girl, my system, no need to ask me when I party, cause I'm on my way to give you what you're missing. It's too flirty, I'm not bad, it's too cracking at the spot, oh yeah. We ain't trying to make it home.
This is Savage.
I'm that bitch.
Is this
I like
album?
Alpha Suga.
Off of
She
Suga.
just released
Forever
it.
be that bitch.
That's her mixtape.
Why should I just release this to her damn album?
Right.
Make some more money off of it. Why don't you make money off of streaming this
I'm
shit?
way too expensive.
Yeah.
I don't shop on Insta boutiques. All them little ass clothes only fit.
She probably got a whole bunch of songs. She just
Still
has to
talking
say
cash
one
shit.
album
I
out.
feel like water. I'm unbothered and relaxing. I would never trip on a nigga if I had him. Bitch, that's my trash. You the maid, so you bagged him. I'm a savage. Classy, bougie,
They got a little challenge now, I guess. I seen it. No. Well, it's a dance. I just seen it today. It was this girl that was dancing to this. And then she had posted the video and she was like, okay, I need to learn this. The Savage Challenge.
I thought so.
Yeah.
recorded, but
Savage Challenge. I feel like this is like one of the songs that you would do this to.
Oh my god.
One more, what should I pick? Pick a number between 1 and 9. Alright. 7? So 7 is Stop Playing featuring Gunna. I don't know why there's no 5.
Random.
Oh, 5 is VICCH.
Oh, yeah, we played that before.
Yeah.
I'm VITCH, right?
I've read the video.
Alright, I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. I don't know what
You didn't like that one that much?
Boring.
Okay, so why don't we play BJ the Chicago Kid? This is called The People. Just so you know.
Who? BJ the Chicago Kid. You never heard of him? Ooh, where have you been?
Not with this girl.
He's pretty much like a rapper singer, like a true rapper singer, because like his rapping doesn't sound like his singing.
Oh yeah, he's not like Drake who like blends it.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
Drake just starts
Keeps it separate.
you know.
He keeps it separate. He's like
Exactly.
singing and then he's rapping.
More like how Queen Latifah can do it.
Right,
You know,
right.
Queen Latifah is a rapper and a singer.
Right,
so,
right.
You know.
She could do it.
Yeah.
She could.
Yeah.
Did it.
This is an uplifting song.
It's called The People. My brother. My brother. Alright, so yeah, so check it out. This is BJ the
I like
Chicago
it.
Kid. It's called The People. Very uplifting, you're right, Breezy. Alright, so we're gonna get into this is Leven Kali. This one's called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I've never heard of this person.
We've played him before, though. Years ago.
I'm
Like
like, I don't remember
Like on
anything.
episode 17 or 18 or
Oh
something.
my gosh. Yeah.
We're on episode 19.
Right, we can't remember that, dude.
Right. Leaving is
Living.
living. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7.
When is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coming in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, you didn't say that yet, huh?
When did they come in?
I don't know.
Why is it called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Maybe it's 7.
Is this the Steppin' song?
I don't know because on the album cover it has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. No, you can't really tell to that. Like, well,
Interesting. Oh, child. What is going on?
I'm confused. I'm also about to fall asleep, so.
Oh, there you go.
Oh. Oh.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So anyway, let's go into Solange. This one's called Naive featuring Beyonce.
It sounds like an old Destiny's Child.
Alright. Are you sure Kelly is not on here too?
I'm sure she
It
is.
sounds like it's more than 2 people.
Yeah, this is Destiny's
Unless
Child
they
and
were.
Solange.
It gotta be.
No, it's just like 2 other people. I feel like it's Beyonce, maybe
Kelly.
Solange singing in a different key. Here she is.
Listen, if Destiny's Child come back and do an album,
I feel like I thought they were
I
supposed
thought
to
that
do
was
a
supposed
tour.
to come back.
I really do think that they should and would if this coronavirus wasn't messing up everything. But that was kind of in the works.
Well, they need to
How about
be.
somebody make a studio in
They
their
need,
own house?
they need to be practicing in the studio right now. You know,
That's
doing that.
downtime.
Remember they would sing. Remember they would be singing
Yeah.
that song. Amen.
Okay, no. All right, no, and no.
Okay,
Leave it alone.
Erica's over here said don't ever do that again.
Some weird things happening. Our sign just fell down. It was a full moon. The coronavirus is spreading. It was Friday the 13th.
I know.
There's
It's
like
just
a lot
shit
happening.
going on.
All right, so for the last one in new music, so you guys like this? This is about.
I think I was late in the morning.
You say you would listen.
I wouldn't listen to it. I'm like, yeah, for sure. I'll listen.
I don't know. I don't know where this song is going.
I don't either.
I'm sorry, I love them, but I don't
I like the sound. It's got that classic Luther Vandross sound. You know where everybody is singing together. You know.
I won't
Right,
play it again. I'm
right.
sorry.
All right. So anyway, let's get into Danity Kane. This one is called Fly, and apparently Danity Kane is just 2 girls now. So it's gone from 5 to 2.
John and Aubrey.
Fulfilling the contract duties.
They need the money.
You said they didn't need the money?
No, they needed the
Oh,
money.
I'm
They
gonna say,
needed
damn.
that Range Rover.
Aubrey been on. She been thirsty for it now.
Something.
She's
Anyway.
so.
But I mean, she is talented though. Like she can sing.
No,
she's
I
a
feel
good
like she
performer.
just be screaming. Shut up. I sound like a hater.
I mean, yeah, I'm like, she definitely has a decent voice and she can perform.
It's cool.
It's not like she's terrible.
She's not terrible. Yes, she can dance too, but
She's not Dawn. But is this Dawn? Is this her and Dawn?
this is Aubrey scenario. She just be like,
I know, but wait, where's Dawn at?
like I don't know. She be like
Yeah, she's supposed to be on this. Aubrey and Dawn.
forcing it. Like I don't know.
I mean, those two were the strongest performers in Danity.
A girl was the small one, the short chick. Andrea. She was the one.
You're right, Andrea was. Yeah, she was.
Should we revisit Danity Kane?
Please,
Let's.
can we revisit
Oh,
that last
yeah.
album? Because that Danity Kane album that they came out with last
Go to
album,
old school Danity Kane.
fire.
This was damage. This was back in 2008. This is Welcome to Dollhouse. This would be a bop in the club. Huh? You can play this in the club.
Still, this is
I
the
can find this
new
on Last Vinyl, I guess.
You can still play this.
I went to go see them, child.
Oh, at the old chick, right? Wasn't that the show that they had filmed? Like where they were like
Yes.
rolling in the band? Like,
Yes. It was their last performance or something like that.
Alright, so remember this one?
No. That was this one. That last one.
Child, Anthony done woke up from the bed.
That's my, I love Danity Kane. That is my ish.
Band Girl featuring Missy Elliott. Alright, but I'm gonna take you guys even further back.
Oh, this was
Oh.
the town. Okay.
Why did all of y'all wake up?
This was one shot off of their
Hey.
Danity Kane in 2006. Look, because they listen to this shit all the time, I know the words too.
Yeah, I was really like,
This album.
I had no energy real quick.
Okay. But anyway, so why don't we just get into the basic what we were basically talking about earlier, which was pretty much how the Trump administration has failed the country once again. This time, I mean, but the crazy thing is that Republican people, they still are behind them, mostly because Fox News has portrayed this coronavirus not as seriously as, you know, it probably should be. I don't even watch Fox News, but 85% of Republicans still, I mean, think that he's doing a good job with the coronavirus response.
What?
Yeah.
Who, Trump?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and the fact that we still don't have any tests. We look, South Korea over here, they're giving tests through a damn drive-through window. They got a drive-through test and they were testing 15,000 people a day last week.
Wow.
And we still don't have a damn test that actually works. That we're for sure works. They said that the tests that they have to like cross-check it 3 or 4 times and like use other DNA and like extract this and all this kind of shit. You know, it's a lot of work to try and do all of it. It's not just a simple test that'll tell you in 15 minutes, like strep the traditional flu test that'll tell you in some minutes about you know, whether or not you have it. You know, so Trump was supposed to have delivered all of the emergency tests by Friday, but you know, we don't have them.
We don't have them. I know him as the vice president.
So look, New York City, they have their own health labs. City of Long Beach, they have their own health labs. UCLA, they have their own health labs. They were told by the CDC that they could not move forward with testing people, even though they have the capacity to try. So the CDC was up there telling people no. And then let's get into the other real big part, was that I think the whole reason behind the whole testing thing, like, why couldn't we use a test that was available to all the other worldwide countries at the World Health Organization? It's because of damn pharmaceutical companies. They want to control the copyright of it. They want to trademark it and make money off of it. They want to make their own. Like
so
the
they're
shit.
Waiting for that.
Yes. They want to use the National Institute of Health's money in order to spend money on trying to find the test that would work. And then they want to copyright the test so that whenever you take it, they make money. They don't want China to be making money off of the damn test that actually works. Wow. So that's why we're in the conundrum that we're in, is because we were too late to the game, and pharmaceutical companies once again want to make money off of our asses.
And Italy is making a comment, like they've said, like, America don't make the same mistakes that we make, because
it's too late.
It's too late. Over 390 people died in one day today in Italy.
Crazy.
Or yesterday or something like that.
No, it's only
390 people died in one day.
Friday or yesterday.
So, but the thing is about this virus is that, of course, that it is affecting the elderly more, or anyone else with an underlying or precondition, medical precondition, like COPD,
diabetes.
if you've had diabetes, any of the food-based, you know, things that you can get. You know, stuff that you can get from eating fucked up food like that we got here in America that we serve up. Slap and shot. Here, take this stuff so you can get into a diabetic coma.
One of the military guys that I was like doing my workshop with this week for work said he had a conspiracy theory, and he was like, man, like, I heard that this is a government-made you know, virus, and it's made for population control because China was
remember I said that shit. Remember I said that a few weeks ago.
You did say that.
I did say that,
and I literally told him that. I was like, I would
not
that from somewhere too, but I can't
remember. You can remember. It was your brother who told you that shit, because I was saying they said the same thing about AIDS, was that it came from some other animal somewhere, and then all of a sudden, you know, the government came up with a conspiracy because they did not want to fund the actual treatment.
Wow.
You know, so look at the situation that we're in now, where the government won't even pay for people to use their Medi-Cal to take the damn test. Right. They're denying people who have Medi-Cal to take the test.
So what
they do not want us to take the test. They don't want us to take the test, because if you take the test, then that's another number that we got it.
Yeah.
The government does not want more people sick. At least they don't want the knowledge of us being sick.
Because then we will lose our place as the most powerful country.
No, because then it will make Trump look bad. Look, every single piece of public policy that's done is only to make Trump feel good about his punk ass self.
Do you know there were like, I was watching his speech on Wednesday, because he had the State of the Union kind of like speech, and addressing this coronavirus. And it was like 3 Republicans, all definitely from the South, with that Southern accent that Darren used earlier in the show.
Look, I can support the government paying for all this money for all this health
Talking
care.
about how well he did during that speech.
Did you guys?
Literally, they
And I was like,
all
are they
those.
crazy?
No, they're not crazy. They're on their knees. That's what
Did
they
you
are.
guys hear the Representative Katie Porter?
Oh yeah,
She
no, she did a
addressed-
great job.
Well, she addressed
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah, the guy over the I
the guy,
forget.
right? He was over.
The medical thing, wasn't it? Something dealing with the medical.
Yeah, something dealing with the test. So basically, she got him to say that the test will be free. But
Yeah.
the bill that just passed in the House literally says that anybody who needs to get a test will get it for free.
Yeah.
So now we're just waiting on the Senate to pass it. Now, we don't know what these Republicans are going to do because they have control, so they could just as well reject it. I don't think that it will. I think it will probably pass just because of the urgency of the matter and
Right.
who would, if you were in a swing state, who would want to be that idiot who decides to, vote against the coronavirus response?
Right. Well, the Canadian Prime Minister's wife has it.
That means that he probably got it.
True.
What are you going to do? Quarantine? Say, all right, baby, you just stay in that room and I'm going to stay downstairs?
Right.
Yeah.
And the federal government just said that they also reduced the percentage rates to near 0. So if you have a credit card, you can call your credit card company and say that my interest rate should be lowered, because they're not going to do it on their own.
That's what the government did? This government? Our
Today.
government?
Today, the government reduced the interest
How
rates
come they're
to
not
0.
talking that shit out? That's what I get some money. Where did you find that out at?
On CNN.
Oh, shit. Nobody told me. Hell, Chase credit card. You
Nobody
motherfuckers-
told me.
You give me alert for every damn thing I do except for that. You didn't give me no
Right.
damn alert about that. You
Exactly.
punk motherfuckers.
Which is exactly why it says in the fine print on there, you need to contact the credit card companies because they will not share this information with you.
Chase, you niggas need to bring that interest rate down. Yeah, I'm talking to you, motherfucker.
Okay, great.
That 17.99 is too damn high. I told you that before. About 8 years ago, I told you to reduce my rate. You didn't do shit. Now you better do something.
La la.
Let me speak to your damn supervisor.
17.99.
And talk
Shit.
about Sprint, AT&T, and T-Mobile.
Oh, AT&T
Alright.
and T-Mobile, they will postpone your due dates.
For
But
2
that means
months?
you still
And
gotta
keep
pay
your
it for
phone
60 days.
on. 60 days.
Yeah, you better come up
60
with the
days
money.
for 2 months.
For 2 months.
But,
you still gotta
just
pay it
remember,
at the end of
yes.
it.
By the
You
end of
have-
that 60 days, you gotta
Yeah.
pay.
Pay
away.
it still. So if you got the funds, just go ahead and pay
Just
it.
pay.
Just
Get it out of
keep
the
paying.
way.
You won't
Right.
get cut off. But
Just
pay
keep
my
paying.
bill.
Oh, I
That's why the
can't.
credit.
Pay my bill.
All right, so real quick, before we, just keep talking about Corona, let's just get into the fact that, Joe Biden, he won many of the primaries in the last week's primary for a lot of the southern states. Basically, he's on his way to winning the nomination for the Democratic Party. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think Bernie Sanders honestly has a lot more things for the communities of color that are more in line with like things that we want, but Biden has a reputable name and credibility with Obama. So I think people are confused right now and just going with what they know, which is Biden, even
Yeah.
though Bernie Sanders
Well,
has,
because people don't trust Bernie Sanders. Bernie
Yeah.
Sanders has an egotistical nature, and it works. But then for other people, he never really talks about, hey, like let me try to lighten this up. He's pretty hardcore. He is what he says and he says what he means.
that's
you know,
true.
but you got to remember the Democratic coalition is pretty diverse. So
Yeah.
some people ain't with that whole like I'm a communist or I'm for socialism stuff because you got
Mhm.
older people who grew up during the Cold War, so they don't
Right.
play that shit.
Right.
So you gotta come a little bit to the center a little bit to get everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And Bernie Sanders, shit, he thought that a bunch of young people were gonna show up so that he could win, but you know what? They asses didn't show up to vote.
Wow.
They didn't. And so now what gets me is that now those same young people, or some of those people who didn't show up to vote for Bernie, some of them did show up and voted for him, and they're diehard Bernie. I voted for Bernie, I'll be honest, I voted for Bernie. But hey, after last week, I realized that shit, Joe Biden is the one that motherfuckers are gonna vote for.
Basically.
A lot of older black people like Joe Biden because he was Barack's number two.
Right.
Hello.
And they don't trust Bernie.
Yeah.
They don't. Because he ain't been down there trying to talk to him. Let's be honest. Bernie ain't been down there. He may have marched in the civil rights movement and shit, but where have you been lately?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So on that front, you know, I think it's pretty clear that Biden is going to win, but I don't think that a lot of these Bernie or bust people, they're still not going to show up and vote for Biden because and they're going to treat Biden just like Hillary Clinton. And to me, I'm like, that's counterintuitive. If any lesson that you learned from the 2016 election is that if you don't like Trump and you're going to come out and be all anti-Trump, you better vote for the other person, motherfucker.
Right.
You know, it's really the lesser of two evils, and that's the two-party system. If you want to work on dismantling the two-party system, you work on that the year after we get this motherfucker out of office.
That part.
You know, because it's really a waste of time, and you're gonna be complaining and moaning and groaning and being on Facebook talking about how outrageous this is, but your ass didn't even show up to vote, especially for the motherfuckers who didn't show up and vote for Hillary. You know, who wanted to do a protest vote or who voted for some other random motherfucker who didn't matter.
I agree.
You know?
I mean, honestly, I don't think, like, for those people that didn't vote but still have an opinion, I think
Your opinion don't matter if you didn't vote.
I was going to say that. Like, I don't listen to you. I don't want to hear your opinion. Your opinion is actually, like, it's trash right now because your actions don't match up with your words. So whatever you're saying, it's not going to add up. So you can keep talking out of your ass, but I'm not going to listen to you because you don't have any credibility as a human being that has integrity.
Exercise your right.
That has integrity. If you're gonna be talking stuff, you better back it up with your actions.
And look, you could vote for whoever. I guess you could vote for whoever the hell, but don't be complaining afterwards. Oh, Trump, I don't like this guy. Well, look, what older black people understand is that they're trying to go for the best person out there who would win.
Yeah.
Look, for years, I mean, we can stand up here and say that this person doesn't support us, but what do you think older black people have been voting for the last 60 years since they got the right to vote? They've been voting for people who somewhat support them literally for their whole voting career.
Right.
And if you're negligent of thinking about that before you go around talking about, oh, Bernie, look, I love Bernie, but Bernie wasn't gonna get a goddamn thing passed that he was talking about.
Yeah,
Excuse my language. I took the Lord's name in vain. I should stop doing that. I do that a lot lately. But seriously, he's not gonna get Medicare for all passed.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I was about to say.
It's too extreme.
That's just not gonna get passed. Let's be honest.
It's just way too extreme.
We can appreciate that he wants to do that.
And I support that, but that's a long term. That's a long term goal.
Yeah.
That is not anything that's gonna get passed right now with the way that this country is divided.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. You know?
This country is
Truth
far
be told,
too
I just
divided.
want Trump to get out of office. Just get him
out. Get his orange ass out. His fucking dumb ass. That fucking man. Sorry.
All right. Moving on.
All right. So besides that, I think what else was there besides in Politricks? Anything else?
I mean, any final comments to the community that you guys all want to share? Any thoughts, questions you want to put out to our listeners?
Hide your kids.
What about you, Dede?
No, not really. Just be smart.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. I mean, be safe out there, everybody. I mean, I think that if anything that this has taught us is that our bodies, you know, I mean, we have to look out for ourselves. and each other.
Yeah.
You know, and what is taught in a capitalist society is to look out for yourself. And it seems like the only answer that we can do is to hide your kids and hide your wives and stay inside because the government ain't behind us. Not underneath 45.
Well,
You know.
I mean, not only were grocery store had lines, there were lines outside of gun stores.
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
So just be mindful of that, people, and be safe. And you know, my comment is just be mindful of others. You know, be caring, be considerate, and stay calm, and try to walk with not a spirit of fear, but what are they?
Common sense.
Giving us the spirit.
Yeah,
No.
But the Lord has given us
Power is love. His joy and peace. His happiness. He has given us a sound mind. Never shall I be
Y'all want to go to church?
afraid. I wanna feel it. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Stir up the gift.
Start up. Start.
Come on. Stir up the gift.
Y'all want to get live with
Don't
y'all.
you? Stir up the gift. Pass me the pepper now. Stir up the gift. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Pass the food to me.
No. Lay your hands on me. Start up the gift. It's lay your hands on me. Touch me, Lord.
Touch me, Lord.
Right, she looks so confused.
I'm like,
He said, pass the phone.
He said pass the phone.
lay your hands on me.
Oh, but I just had to
Well,
say,
yeah, you guys, don't live with the spirit of fear.
you know, don't live with the spirit of fear. Just go out there and live your best life and
Yes.
be kind to each other. With that said, we'll close off with our Proverbs
35 and 6.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him and he shall direct thy path.
God bless.
Oh.
So precious. It's yours, it's mine.